Welcome back to part 3 in a tutorial of creating a digital puppet from a real puppet. Now we're getting on to the final process and we'll be using Adobe Character Animator. So the first thing you want to do after you fire it up is go File, Import, and then find your PSB. So in this case, this one. Now I've made a few changes with the layers, etc. I've just removed some because it didn't look so good. And I'll show you at the end what I mean by that. So once you've got your file in, just double click it. And there we see our puppet. So we want to make sure the mouth is expanded, and then we'll click on neutral. Now we want to see that this neutral mouth has been selected, and it should be automatically. Same thing with each other mouth, as long as you've stuck to the naming conventions, etc. So we'll start off with our neutral mouth. So what we want to do is select our front group and click on the front face. Left group, click on the left face. Left quarter, click on the left quarter. Right quarter, click on the right quarter, and right, click on right. Now I've removed up and down, but there's your up and there's your down. Now we want to expand our left and right. So in this case, I've got 3 separate layers. Now our right quarter, with the right quarter selected, we're going to click on Behavior, Cycle Layers. Now in this case, because it goes 1, 2, 3 from the bottom, we're going to change bottom to top. We're going to go forward and reverse, and we're also going to check hold on last layer. Now if you don't check on hold on last layer, you may have missing frames. And then uncycle finish, leave that there. And that is pretty much it. Then we'll go to left quarter. Same thing, cycle layers, bottom to top. Make sure these are both checked, and we're good to go. So then what we'll do is click back on the neutral layer itself, and behaviors, we'll click add, and we want head turner. Now you should see, because I don't have the up and down, it hasn't added them in, which is great. But it automatically picks up the left profile, basically everything else. So that's it. That's all you need to do. Now a nice trick here, instead of having to go through manually for every single one, what we can do is actually go left in our search box. I want to go holding control, we select all our lefts. And we'll just click this until it turns off. No, there we go. And back on. So that's now applied to all the lefts. Same thing, we can do the same for all the quarters. So we've got that selected, and you can add the actual cycle layers behavior to all of them. Now I've already done the left one, but here's the right one as an example. So these ones I was doing manually until I realized I should just do this. So we want to mark them as the right quarter. The reason the other one was selected already was because a few of them were already complete. That's why I basically turned it off and on. It deletes everything and then adds it back in. Behaviors, we can go our cycle layers. And then we do our bottom to top and select the 2, which is great. So now if we look at our very last one, which we haven't touched yet, it's all there. So it just saves you having to go through every single one. Just before we go to the next section, you can see here it links, it shows you where your file is. So any changes you make in this Photoshop file will automatically sync across here. You've got the option to uncheck this, but I find it's quite useful to auto sync. It's only if you're making a direct copy of something else, you might want to unsync it and save it as something different. So you may want to save the project as, and I will call this Old Man Roy Sides. Now, just to reiterate, I have removed the up and down, and I've also put the left and right to be the same for all of them. So there is no open mouth. I've just made the neutral left and right. And again, I'll show you a comparison at the end to show you why I've made that decision. So we go into record. You should see your puppet on the left-hand side, and you drag and drop. Yeah, there we go. So you should see now that my head is doing things to the puppet. It probably looks a bit more realistic now than it was before. Still not 100% sure if I want those sides to be in, but you can still see there's a little bit of difference in lighting, and that's purely based on the source images. So that's something I might want to go back and play with. But there's the basics. That's the idea of it. So here is a test. This is basically with sides, no up and down. As I'm talking, you can see it doesn't move on the left and right. Yeah, so this is where I am at the moment. So this is the puppet with no side movement. You can see I'm moving my head and there's no sides. Basically, all it is just the front images under each mouth shape. So this is an example of the puppet with all the head movement in. Up, down, left, right. I'm exaggerating it quite substantially. So what I found about this is it felt too jagged, too kind of jittery, as it were. And I believe there's settings you can change in like over here for your face, pose to pose movement, etc. But I'm still not, it feels too much like it's skipping frames too quickly, and I don't like it. So this is what the original Photoshop file was intended for, but as you can see, yeah, not exactly happy with it.
As always, the usual. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can hit me up over on Twitch or flick a comment below, and we'll go from there. Bye.